Hello and welcome to AAA Reviews. I thought today I would do a quick tutorial on how to basically get figures that are bent out of shape and then where the card's sort of warped, and how you can get them back to being near enough straight. So I thought this would be like a little helps and tips video. As you know, I always do video reviews of action figures, but this is to help you when you buy them and they turn up sort of misshapen, and sort of look a little how to take care of these figures when they arrive. When you get them, it's, you know, just because it's bent and warped doesn't mean it has to stay that way. If you haven't seen my videos before, please hit a like, please hit subscribe, please turn on notifications, and please share with your friends. Now I'd like to take this opportunity before the new year comes in to thank a few people and to give you guys, as this is a help video, some tips and tricks. If you haven't already, check out the links in the description, because I've had some help this year. Not all my figures I've bought have been from eBay, although the majority of them are. I have had some extra help, and it's from groups like this. So we've got Jurassic Coast Collectibles. The admin guy there, Lewis Rod, is an absolute diamond. He has hooked me up, tagged me in several different posts that have popped up on there where I've been able to score some really good figures. I mean, it's literally just people helping you and giving you a lift up, which is absolutely awesome. Also Chris Carson, who has just opened his own toy shop, which hopefully AAA Reviews will be going on the road trip next year to go check out his shop. So this guy's always getting all kinds of things, and I have definitely had some X-Men Toy Biz figures off him. And also Poise Toys, this guy runs an online auction. Gavin, absolutely sweet guy, really cool, does super deals. If you guys want to join some of that, jump onto the Facebook groups. They'll more than welcome you across. They always welcome collectors, and you'll be able to get those figures that you're looking for as well. Okay guys, so this is like my first sort of self-help. I was chucking pro tips into my videos, but I found that it just makes my videos too long, and so I just want to do the reviews of the figures and give you know, sort of information about the characters and the price points that they are at today. So I've decided to do these as a separate set of videos, and I'll put them in a separate sort of playlist for you. I ordered a huge stack of these and I got them at a really good price, and they've arrived. And if you look, the card is all sort of warped out of shape. I hope you can see that on camera, so it's not in good condition. I'm going to show you guys, like, with a comic book press, which aren't expensive at all. They're around 70 UK pounds. I mean, they're probably sort of the same price in dollars over in the States and in Canada. You'll have to look it up, but just a standard comic book press. They're actually t-shirt presses, actually. They're meant for pressing prints onto t-shirts, but people use them for comic book pressing. I use mine for comic book pressing. I want to show you the quick process of turning that, which is all out of shape, into a really nice flat figure, and also how you can, even if you've got the plastic coming off the side, sometimes how you can press that back on. It won't be a perfect job, but it'll certainly mean that the figure doesn't come out if it's starting to come loose. So let's take a look at that now. So here's what I use. This Ghost Rider turned up today. I use some little cleaning wipes that you use for glasses. They're quick drying, smear free, individually wrapped, which is ideal so they won't dry out, and they dissolve grease, and they're really cheap at just 99p. Now this Ghost Rider turned up today in the post, and he is a perfect example. So there they are, individually wrapped. They're just slightly damp to touch. They're not very wet at all, and they dry out really fast. So I'll start by going over the plastic, just giving it a good old wipe over, and there you go. See all that dirt that comes off? And I go up the sides, and these are perfectly safe to use on the cardboard. You haven't got to worry. I mean, it's not going to over damp or take any ink off. These are really just mildly sort of damp cloths, but they take off all that dust, and they're perfect for the plastic part, to give it a nice clear shine, because they are used for cleaning up, well, glasses and things like that, and they just seem to work really well. So I've always got a few boxes of these handy, because here at AAA Reviews I've got figures arriving every single day. So we give this a good wipe up the side, get that all that sort of dirt and grime off, and then I take a second one and I go straight over the box, because a lot of dirt will cling to the box. Now these boxes are sort of more durable. You couldn't do this if it was a comic book, but we're not dealing with a comic book here. We're dealing with a figure box, and it's perfectly fine. And like I say, these are very mildly damp. There's not a lot of moisture. They're almost dry to touch. And then I'll just whiz over the back. And then you'll see the results in a minute, because this comes up really nice. It's surprising how much dirt and dust and grime they get from where they've just been sat either in boxes or on people's shelves. I'm really pleased I got this Ghost Rider, because I needed him to finish a series, so this is really cool. I then take a nice clean microfiber cloth and I just go over everything, and that's drying off any kind of moisture that may be on there, and also just giving it a buff up. So I just go over everything again, just making sure that it's all nice and clean. Any sort of dirt and stuff will just cling to this microfiber cloth, so it's just a really good thing to have in your sort of arsenal if you are collecting toy action figures. So make sure I just get in all the nooks and crannies. Incidentally, I know you like to know the prices. I paid £21 for this one. Check it out. There it is, all gleaming, really nice. Now, just like the Ghost Rider, I've had these a little while now. Bought a big stack of these X-Men 2099. Look at the card. Look at how warped it is, how out of shape it is. I'm going to show you guys how to put it in this here, which is what a press basically is, a heat press for shirts. But I use it to press my comic books, and I'm going to show you guys how you can use it to press your figures as well. Now, of course, we're going to put the whole figure in the press because it's plastic, but we are able. Now, take note of that. If you wanted to remove that, if you press it in the heat and then take it out while it's still warm, that will come straight off. I prefer to keep the price tags on, as we all know, because it's like the charm and the history of the figure. So we layer things up. I put some baking-proof paper down, 2 layers of board. These are quite thick, sort of Bristol board that I use for this. And then what I do is I basically make a sandwich, and I put this figure into the press, and I've got those books to one side because I need the rest of the figure to sit on something. So there we are, we lay it in. I lay a piece of card underneath, there we are, then some baking paper, another piece of baking paper over the figure that has to protect the figure, another card, and then another baking paper over the top again. So you've got this like 4-layer sandwich, if you like. I then get the press ready into position, and I have that facing right towards me because that's about the right pressure for a figure. It's different for a comic, you don't put as much pressure on, but for this, push it right down and he's clamped in, and he sort of just popped up a little bit, so just going to put that other figure there just to sort of keep him nice and straight. And the books going up the side, they just literally line up with the press. I'm now going to switch the press on, and with a comic you'd probably go to about 165, 170. I'm going to let this heat up to around 200 to 205. Once it hits that heat, I'm going to turn it off. I'm just going to let it get to heat and turn it off, and then this will do its work by itself. Now, it's not a quick process. It takes a little bit of time. You can leave it in the press possibly overnight, but it will press the figure. See the temperature's going up now. So if that was a comic, that's it. I would shut that off at 165, and obviously the pressure would be different as well. But for a figure, you want to get it hotter. It's that one piece of solid card that you're trying to press back out into shape. So that's what we've got to do here to try and get that huge warp out. Because you saw how badly warped it was. And this will show you the difference. Hopefully we'll get a really good result. And none of this is an exact science. I mean, yes, you can put the sides in as well. You would have to line it up and do the sides. And you could literally get rid of any curled edges and things like that, and you could make your figure completely straight again basically. But it isn't a fast process. It just takes time. It takes time for it to work basically, because you get your money's worth out of when the press is off. So I've switched it off now, and that is nice and warm. Could have done with being a little bit higher, but I'm going to be honest, it's not easy. You need to get something exactly to the point, and I've struggled. I'm just using these little Goosebump books. So I've took that off now, and we'll just wait for this to come out the press. I'll leave this for about 6 hours, and then I'll pop it off. So let's take a look, see what's happened, see if it's any better than it was before. So I'll take this off, lift it up and across. It's all cooled down now, there's no heat, and we'll see if we've got a result. The longer you leave it in the press, the better the results, but for the purpose of the video I thought I'd take it out after 6 hours. Look at that. You saw how bad that was before, how badly warped. Now look, I mean, if we compare it to another one, you'll see the difference. Also going to mention, you can use these presses. I've got a figure here, and it's all lifted on the side and bottom. Now I can't heat down the bottom, but I can use the heat press just to heat that back onto the side so the figure doesn't come out. So you have to kind of just line it up and heat it up. But look at this, there you are, all sealed down, because these figures are sealed with heat. Now you could use an iron, but you'd have to make sure there's no steam and it's dry. You'd have to use the Teflon paper, but it will do the job. And that's more or less lined up. For me, it was just a case of making sure the figure doesn't come completely away, because you find once it comes away on one side, it will come out completely off the card, and that's just something I don't want to happen, because I like to keep them in the card. It's still going to be loose at the bottom. There's nothing really I can do there, but along the side, if it didn't have that split, it probably would have lined up better, because it's got a slight split in the side, this one. But there you are. So there we are. There is Junk Pile, the one that I heat pressed earlier. The sticker's still on because I didn't take it out. What I do now is I take a silica gel. These are reasonably cheap, and I'll pop a silica gel inside the bag, and then bag this figure up, and there it is, all nice and straight. A lot better as opposed to this one, which is about to go in the heat press next, which has got a huge sort of wave right in the middle of that card. I just use a couple of Bristol boards. You can use comic book backing boards, but I didn't have any to hand, any spare, so I just use some Bristol boards that Sarah used for drawing this. There you go, there's a drawing, just draw a Beetlejuice. So I just use these obviously plain white ones, nothing with drawing on, because you don't want anything transferring onto your figure with the heat. And then I'll stick the next one in, and here we go. Let's see how this one turns out, just to show you guys. I mean, this has been in for at least 4 or 5 hours, this one. Let's see if it's any better. The longer you leave it, the better it is. But look at that. That's much better than what it was, that huge dribble. This one could probably do with going in a bit longer. I've took it out a bit too soon. This one possibly, but you know, could have done with being in overnight, really. But there you are. There is how you heat press and look after your figures. So there you are, guys. That is how I press my figures and get them a lot straighter and a lot nicer than what they were before. Now remember, like I said, if you want these stickers removed, you'll take it out of the press while it's still hot, and that will come right off with ease. I personally don't remove the stickers because it's the history of the figure and it adds to the charm. But there you go, what a difference as opposed to, because they all came in really bad condition, as you could see in that video. This one has to be pressed, but what a difference that makes just looking at these figures. It's not an exact science and it's not perfect, and you do have to kind of get, you know, because you can't put the whole figure in the press like you would a comic, and you are balancing that on the books. You need those books pretty much level with your press or whatever you decide to put underneath, but it does give you really good results, and I hope you'll all agree. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again next time. Until then, good luck searching for that toy gold.